Welcome back. The Winter Games in Sochi are just 4 days away from officially kicking off.
That's right. The final preparations are being put into place for the opening ceremonies on Friday, and the athletes are starting to arrive. Olympians and broadcasters have been flying in all week, and one of the pilots who flew a 777 is joining us live for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at what goes into putting on the world's largest athletic event. Katie Steiner is in the Interactive Center with more for us tonight. Katie?
Hey, Steph and Dan. Well, I'm joined here with First Officer John Steiner. Now, you're getting up very early. Thanks so much for joining us. What was the flight like? You flew over on Saturday. What was that flight like? Where'd you go?
It was great. It was great. It was a 9.5-hour flight out of Newark into Sochi. We flew over the northern part of Europe and then somewhere I'd never flown over, which was Ukraine, including Kiev. So it was fun. The weather was great, and it was not a big deal for the flight. Nice flight.
So what's it like to be in Sochi with the Olympics so close?
It's nice. There's really a vibe here. There's just a lot of excitement, a lot of people walking around, including a lot of security folks. But things are tight security-wise, but there's just a lot of movement, a lot of activity 24 hours a day. So it's pretty fun. Good to be here.
You do a lot of international stuff, and you mentioned the security. What have you noticed that's different in Russia this time?
The airport, for one, is just crawling with troops. It reminded me of my Navy days, actually, being on some of the military bases. There's a lot of security at the train stations, at the hotels, and certainly around the Olympic Village.
Is it cool to be there?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's you know, it's once in a lifetime type thing. You come to Russia and see the Olympics, or get around the Olympics anyway. So yeah, it's real fun.
So have you met anybody cool?
Well, there's some people I watch the Super Bowl with. Al Michaels is one of them, and Bob Costas is another. Scott Hamilton, the figure skating guru, another one there. And actually, a lot of the announcers that you'll watch in a few days, I got to sit down and have an adult beverage with a couple of them. So it was kind of fun, yes. It was great.
So what did they think of the Super Bowl? You know, we're all Seahawks fans here. What were they thinking?
And by the way, congratulations on that great victory. That was certainly surprising to me. Actually, funny you asked, but I did ask Mr. Costas before the game, and I said, you know, who are you rooting for? You can just tell me, I'm a nobody. And he said, really? He said, I don't care. And he said, we're so ingrained and trained not to root for one team or the other. He said, I don't, the outcome, in fact, I kind of watched he and Al Michaels throughout the game, and everybody else was standing up at certain times of the game cheering for a team, and those two just sat there and there was no emotion. It was all professional, even though we were sitting in just a small room basically with about 40 people. So you couldn't tell who they were for.
Well, that's so interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Steiner. I really appreciate your time. We're going to send it back to Dan and Steph, guys.
Mr. Steiner, so formal. Full disclosure, First Officer Steiner just happens to be Katie's pop.
That's
Katie's
right.
dad.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll hopefully talk to him, but what a great perspective up close and personal.
Yeah, that was interesting.
All right, we're back with sports next.